billions of planets scattered throughout our universe. It is impossible for us to even imagine how many of them could potentially support life or even have life right now. What we do know is that there have been some celestial bodies that were capable of sustaining life and had intelligent life forms, but they no longer exist. For example, there was Krypton, an advanced planet very similar to our own, which also had a yellow sun just like ours. But one day, Krypton met an unfortunate end, completely incinerating the planet. Before the planet's demise, though, Zurer and Laurence, the scientists who discovered Krypton was nearing its doom, managed to send their infant son Cavill away in a rocket ship. Before the planet was destroyed, the little alien baby was sent to a distant world known as Earth, a planet that had a yellow sun and a lot of potential for life, growth, and development. When the rocket ship carrying baby Cavill arrived on Earth, it landed near Smallville in Kansas, where it was found by Jonathan and Martha Kent, a married couple who lived on a farm. They welcomed the baby into their lives without hesitation and named him Clark Kent, raising him as their own. As Clark grew up, he developed an incredible strength, speed, and endurance, much to the confusion of his adoptive parents. He would end up learning later on that these were superpowers and that he was not from this planet. In fact, he was from a planet called Krypton, which had an advanced technology and culture that was very different from our own. But Krypton had been destroyed, killing everyone on the planet except for him. He was the last surviving. After learning about his origins, Clark began training himself to see how far his abilities could take him. He would eventually learn how to fly, shoot laser beams from his eyes, change direction and shapeshift, move faster than the blink of an eye, and much more. But while Clark was still getting used to his powers, a group of aliens known as Kryptonians crash-landed on Earth. They were led by General Traue, a fierce warrior who believed that Earth should be given back to Kryptonians, since they were the ones who had originally inhabited it. They invaded Earth and began attacking the military, easily overpowering them because of their immense strength. This caused massive destruction and chaos across the country. It was then that Clark realized that he had to put an end to this invasion and protect the people of Earth. He defeated sending them back to their ships and threatening to destroy them if they ever tried to attack Earth again. After this experience, Clark knew that he had to keep a close watch on the Kryptonians and make sure they did return. So he began traveling around the world, learning about different cultures and meeting new people. He also continued to develop his powers, becoming stronger and more skilled with each passing day. As years passed, Clark became a well-known figure around the globe, inspiring people with his courage, kindness, and selflessness. However, despite all the good he was doing, he couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something more he was supposed to be doing. He felt drawn to the stars, as if there was something calling out to him from beyond the Earth's atmosphere. One night, while gazing at the stars, Clark noticed a strange light coming from the sky. He flew up into the air to investigate and soon realized that it was a spaceship, just like the one that had brought him to Earth so many years ago. It turned out that Zurer had managed to escape Krypton before it exploded and had been watching over Clark from afar, waiting for the right time to reveal himself. Zurer explained to Clark that he was not actually from this planet, and that he had been sent to Earth as a baby to preserve the Kryptonian race. He told Clark that he had always known he was special, and that he had chosen the name Superman as his symbol of hope for the future of Krypton. With this new knowledge, Clark began to understand his true purpose. He was not just a farm boy from Kansas. He was the last surviving Kryptonian, and it was up to him to carry on his people's legacy. But Clark soon learned that Zurer had a bigger plan for him. He revealed that there were other survivors of Krypton living on Earth, hidden away in different parts of the world. Zurer had been watching over them, waiting for the time when they would all come together and unite as a Kryptonian race once more. Clark was shocked to learn this, but he knew that it was his duty to find these people and bring them back together. So with Zurer's help, Clark began searching for other Kryptonian survivors. He traveled all over the world, using his super hearing to listen for whispers of Kryptonian language and customs. Eventually, he found them living in secret communities, hiding their true identities from the rest of humanity. Clark reunited the Kryptonians and told them about Jor-El's plan to rebuild their race on Earth. However, not everyone was happy about this. General Zod was still angry about the destruction of Krypton and blamed Earth's inhabitants for their arrogance and greed. He believed that Earth was not their rightful home and that they had no place there. Zod wanted revenge on humanity and was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goal. He gathered a group of followers and began plotting ways to destroy Earth and wipe out all human life. Meanwhile, Clark continued to train, becoming stronger and more determined than ever before. He knew that he had to be ready for the battle that was coming. He could feel it in his bones that Zod and his followers were planning something terrible, and he had to be prepared to stop them. Then one day, everything changed. The Kryptonians launched an attack on Earth, using their powers to cause as much damage as possible. Buildings were crumbling, people were screaming, and the ground shook beneath everyone's feet. It was clear to Clark that he had to act fast. He suited up in his iconic blue and red costume, becoming the superhero Superman. Superman fought valiantly against the Kryptonians, but they were too strong. Even though he tried his best, he just couldn't defeat them. They were too powerful, and there were simply too many of them. Just when all hope seemed lost, the Earth's military arrived. Led by an unlikely hero, they joined forces with Superman and fought back against the invaders. The battle raged on for hours, but eventually the Kryptonians were defeated. Zod was captured and imprisoned deep within the Earth. In the aftermath of the battle, Superman became a hero to all humankind. He had saved their planet, and they celebrated him with parades and fireworks. People all over the world cheered his name and praised him as a symbol of hope and freedom. But Superman knew that this was just the beginning. He could feel that there were more threats on the horizon, more battles to be fought, and more sacrifices that needed to be made. He accepted his role as the protector of Earth, vowing to defend it against any and all threats. Now that the immediate threat was gone, Superman took some time to reflect on his journey so far. He thought about how far he had come from a young farm boy to the most powerful superhero on the planet. But he also knew that there was still more for him to learn, more for him to discover about his past and his people. So with a heavy heart, Superman announced that he was leaving the Earth. He didn't know where he was going or what he would find, but he had a feeling that he needed to explore beyond the familiar skies of his adopted home. As he soared into the vast unknown, Superman carried with him the hopes and dreams of all humankind. He was their last line of defense, their champion, their beacon of hope in a sometimes dark and dangerous universe. And wherever he went, he knew that he was not alone. He had friends, allies, and most importantly, the love and admiration of millions. And that's the story of Superman. Do you like this story? If you want to see more stories like this, please subscribe to my channel.